Hello there. Welcome to another talk. And today's talk is called Why Forgiveness and Being Non Judgmental is So Important. Very important talk because it's the one thing that blocks you. When you're judgmental, you know, I'm not saying someone should do you wrong and you just like forgive willy nilly, because that's not how you get to true forgiveness. The forgiveness thing, people misunderstand it. In the same way that the majority of religious people will misunderstand the prophets that they worship. Uh, but true forgiveness is an inner thing. It's a situation where you are going within, you're healing that subconscious thing within yourself. The thing that is, it's a blockage within the heart chakra, or blockages. Because love, when you love someone else, a lot of people are loving, they think they're loving, but it's like a cup that's just about empty. It's like, doing it with somebody, and you've done it that much that you're all empty now and there's nothing to give. uh, and that's kind of like what it is, and a lot of people don't know that. And that's why there's a lot of demonization. I mean, I will say, I am a narcissist because I brought the word up. That came from my mind, my imagination, within me. It's a mirror. It's all a reflection. So my point is, it's about going within instead of externalizing everything. People externalize because subconsciously they don't want to really face their trauma. So, we externalize our reality. And true forgiveness is an inner thing. So when you're being non-judgmental, it can only truly happen when you're like that towards yourself. It's really a mirror, it's a reflection. I mean, it really is like that. My journey started from an unexpected spiritual awakening at age 24, 34 now, 10 years ago. And before I didn't know anything about shadow work or nothing about this kind of thing. No one in the family did. But to cut a long story short, from the moment of the awakening, very quickly, everything became one. It was all me. And that was before I knew what shadow work was. And because what had happened is I'd awakened to the fact that it is actually just one infinite consciousness. Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion, just like what David Icke says. And so when you realize that, in the awakening for me, I started to go within and do a lot of healing. Pretty much immediately. And so that's what is needed to have true forgiveness. You have to basically heal within, and then if you observe it, and that's what I've been doing on this journey for 10 years now, is the more I healed, the better the outer world looked. You can even go deeper than that. German new medicine. proved the different kind of cancers that produce manifested from different traumas. And they block certain chakra points. So if it's breast cancer, that's heart energy blockages. And it can be, the people can actually seem happy in life, but subconscious in their psyche, there's trauma. And German New Medicine proved this. You should go and look it up. And they say that all illness comes from trauma. They call it a conflict shock. So basically, we've all got post-traumatic stress from past lives. But this relates to what I'm talking about, because we must heal that within, that unconscious traumas. And that is the true pathway to being non-judgmental. And that's the true path of forgiveness. It's not this stupid thing where people say, turn the other cheek. No, if someone does you wrong and you feel it and you feel anger, then you should feel that anger. They've done you wrong. If, something bad's happened, a sexual assault to someone or something like that, and you feel what you feel, you should express that. Because, that's how you truly feel in that moment. And when you express your true feelings, your true desires, your true things that's going on, then that subconscious thing that manifested that thing is released and healed. And that is how you properly forgive. And that's how you properly become non-judgmental. It's, if you observe it, you'll find that if you meditate on it, and this is what I've been doing since the awakening, is I never done meditation before, and really meditating after the awakening on my reactions. That's really what shadow work is. It's basic, but like I say, I was doing this before I even knew what it was. No books involved. I sat down, had enough, as I've said before. But I meant it so much that it manifested, it ignited this massive spiritual awakening. And I'm not going to go too far into that, but it relates to this talk. It was an inner journey. And I'm still doing it. So when I hear people that say, I see people on the internet, they've got big titles beside their names, they've done some degree courses, they've not had a spiritual awakening, right? When you have a spiritual awakening, you're not healing just yourself as well. You're healing family curses that have developed chronic illnesses. Plus you are healing the collective consciousness within the planet. That's what's going on. It's like something within your mind or something like that has been opened up, and now you're open to the collective consciousness. That's why if you go on my website, like on this picture here, lovelightfamily.com, you'll see that I do readings, but I only do readings for the collective consciousness. And that's because that's what we all are. All my readings are channeled. I'm not a mind reader or anything. I can't tell you what you're thinking. But I get channeled messages, tarot reading messages for the collective conscious, because that's what we all are. It's really one. But not just on the planet. Once we ascend, we'll become oneness with what is known as the Galactic Federation of Light. I'm not going to go into that too much just now. But that's why I call my website Love Light Family. It's in dedication to those that I believe are helping me along this awakening. I believe all you got to do is go within, and then those higher beings that are in this Galactic Federation of Light, they're the ones that are downloading information to you. And they come from heaven. You see, but to get to that level, you've got to You've got to do the inner work. It's an inner journey, and that connects you higher and higher. And the beings aren't actually really beings, it's ultimately the same, higher levels of the same consciousness. The heart is how you access it. So, yeah, so, and so it's an inner journey within the heart that will do that for you. And also don't worry about being called names. I've been called mad by my own family. Why? Well, because they didn't have the awakening like I did. They think that I think I'm better than them, you see. But I don't think like that at all. Like I say, it's one consciousness. I've been called mad by them, and but that's the thing. I'm not offended, because when you go within and release this unconscious stuff, you don't get offended by things as much. You see? And I'm not rubbishing my family online. I'm not like that. That's what I've been called by my own family, and others as well on the internet, all different types of names. And how do I take it? Well, because I know that they're just unconscious. They're creating people that act like that. They're creating their own hell. Not because they're denying me, but because they're choosing to live in their own hell within themselves. So that's why I'm not offended. The reason I'm not offended is because of all the healing I've done for 10 years. You see? So if you're offended at things, it's because you need to do healing. If you're triggered, if you find yourself calling the person and getting triggered and wanting to go online and do posts about narcissists, it's I call it the inner narcissist, and that's the part of you that sees the external narcissist. The world would be pretty boring imagine if there was no narcissism going on in like sexual encounters. It'd be pretty rubbish sex, wouldn't it? So you need ego, you need narcissism, but when it's at levels where it's manipulating others, that's when it's a dangerous level. So it's not about getting rid of it, it's about healing, you see? You need dominance, you need that kind of thing going on to get anything done in your life. So it's really not about demonizing people or demonizing a narcissist. It's about not accepting their behavior, but knowing that the bad that you see outward is the bad within yourself. Look within instead of looking outward. You see? Make within your church almost, And when you're going within, that's the true pathway to forgiveness, because then you release all that stuff that was within, that was causing the triggers, and then what happens, you naturally just let it go, let these bad people go, and you're going to higher levels of awareness there. Peace, tranquility, love, divinity, ecstasy, euphoria. That's what you're entering into the more you do this. So that's the pathway of how you become one of, as I said earlier, the Galactic Federation of Light, which is the new Earth. And those that some people call chosen ones, those that have had these big awakenings, those are the ones that are here to take us into that new Earth. And so a big part of this journey is going within, letting go, self-forgiveness, and then you'll notice that you're forgiving others. But it doesn't mean just say I forgive everybody. That's because you don't really mean it. You see, that's not being authentic. Be heart-based. Express what you truly feel, and that's how you release it, and that's how you heal it. I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research, and much, much more, please do visit my website at www, as you can see, lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.